And welcome back, my fellow fiends, to Let's Play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Speaking of fiends, last time we defeated the final fiend of the game, and now we have all the candelabrum, and thus we can get as deep as possible into the Labyrinth of Amala, though of course we will be starting with the 4th Kalpa, since, 4 comes after 3. That seemed pretty reasonable to me. Now, to start off, I did a little bit of things off screen. First, I pulled a Dominion out of the compendium, along with an Aquins. Fused those together. The Aquins, conveniently enough, had Watchful on it. So now we've got a Divine Throne with Watchful to siphon EXP. Now, you see, the next skill he learns is Media Rahan. That is useful, though it is not the reason I want him. Also, he has Innate Prominence, and he does learn Fire Boost eventually. However, the reason I want Throne is because the final skill he learns is super good, and there is a demon that will allow us to also easily get it, but, it's definitely a skill that I'd like to have as many options to access with as possible. Additionally, he also evolves into a very powerful demon, so that is more than worth our while to shoot for. Other than that, I went to Rag's Jewelry to turn in some items, turned in my diamonds to get a couple great chakras, as we may end up needing these in the very near future. But we will cover that when we actually get to it. Now, the reason I'm starting in Yurakucho Tunnel is because there is one thing we can take care of here. Now, this is not the right way. There was some treasure that I left behind, but we'll come back for that later. The main thing I want to do is that I want to initiate a bit of a side quest right now. It's more of a time sink thing. It's not something you have to pursue too actively. And I figured, why not get it started now so we have it out of the way for later. These demons are determined to not make this easy for me, but it's okay. I do need some experience. I actually do want to get Magma Axis learned, and I just want to make sure. Do I have Gehenna equipped? I do not, so it's a good thing I was thinking of that. I absolutely want to learn Magma Axis before the end of this video, as that skill will come very, very much in handy for something we're about to do. Now, if we head this way, we will come across the Spirit, and this guy initiates a side quest for us. See, this guy's a prospector, and he's looking for treasure, but he cannot get through it himself. He needs a strong demon to help him. Ooh, doggy. And sure. Now, I'm just gonna warn you right now, whatever demon you give to this guy will be lost permanently. It dies. So, we will provide a demon for him. Who are we gonna give up? Well, he just goes down the list one by one. Absolutely do not give your top demon if it's something that you fused Pixie into. That's not a good idea. But he'll just go down your list one by one until you find one that you don't mind parting with. And remember, it's permanent. If you don't want to lose too badly, aside from your top slot demon, you can just register these and then pull them out of the compendium afterward. But we're gonna give up Matador. Matador has long since passed his prime. I'm not gonna have any more use for him, and I could probably use him for a sacrifice fusion, but I'm kind of done with fusion at this point, and I can't really think of a good reason for him. Maybe I could have fused him on the throne, but tears to what could have been. We're just gonna give him up. Now, how long this takes is going to depend on the strength of the demon you give to him. If your demon has a certain amount of strength, he'll get this done faster. But the way this works is the demon provided to him will go to work on digging that tunnel, and after a certain number of full Kagatsuchi phases pass, and by that I mean from new to full, back to new again, after a certain number of those cycles pass, this will be done. I forget how much it takes if your demon is not at the required strength, but regardless, by the time we come back here, it should be done, and if not, by the time we're done with the next major dungeon, it'll definitely be done, and at that point, it'll be, I'm trying to think of what I want to say. Well, it's not critical that we do it super early. Just as long as we do it before the final dungeon, I think we get the most out of it. Alright, with that taken care of, I'm going to travel to heal up, and then I will meet you in the Labyrinth of Amala in the 4th Kalpa. Alright, now hold the phone here, because I just remembered something we can take care of while we're in the 3rd Kalpa. Now, there is a Jack Frost here, and he mentions that the Emperor has returned. Do you know who else was going by the title of Emperor? Why, it was Black Frost who was using that title, of course. Does that mean he's somewhere in the Labyrinth of Amala? Well, yeah, obviously he is. I wouldn't be bringing attention to it if he wasn't. So, this is something you can do after defeating Black Frost and after defeating Dante in the third Kalpa. You can get a special encounter here, and it's not a fight. I do not mean to imply that it is a fight. If you go into the central room in the first Dante tag area, you hear a voice. And what exactly were you trying to get here for? Black Frost, you seem to have smallened a little bit. Okay, I can live with that. Okay, I won't press, Alright. And, without even asking, unless you have a full party already, he joins you. But yes, we got Black Frost, and he is a really good demon. You'll note that he's level 66. He joins you regardless of what your level is, so you could be significantly lower level than him. I mean, if you defeat him after Yoyogi Park and then defeat Dante right away, you could definitely be like close to or even 10 levels underneath him. But Black Frost is a really good demon. Repels fire and death, drains ice, nulls expel. Not weak to anything, and he's resistant to physical, but his phys resistance is special. Much like the actual boss fight with him, he resists physical damage by 90%. He's almost immune to it, just not quite, and he doesn't enjoy the main benefit of being immune to things and draining enemies' press turns. But physical attacks basically cannot kill him. You do not run into any enemies that run Pierce. There's a handful of almighty physical attacks, but you don't see any of those at this point in the game, so not anything he has to worry about. Now, he has pretty terrible skills. Mabufudain is not particularly strong without a boost, but as you can see, he has 5 open slots, so he has a lot of room to be customized with Mitamas, and he is very popular for that because of this. You get him for free, you don't have to fuse him up, and also, once you recruit him at this point, you now are free to fuse him if you so desire, though it's generally easier to just customize this one with Mitamas. I'm not going to use him immediately, but after a point, I will probably invest a little into him because he's really good. With that taken care of, I will meet you at the tunnel level. Also, because a lot of the enemies here are pretty powerful, I'm probably going to throw up Riborama and just slaughter things on my way to the next Kalpa, so I can take advantage of learning Magma Axis. Alright, meet you in the next Kalpa. Alright, here we are at the entrance to the fourth Kalpa. I keep saying it like I'm going to cut directly to the fourth Kalpa. I realize we have not seen the tunnel sequence yet, so we're going to do this first. Now, we are getting close to this point, though not quite. I believe it's at 16 strength. You can punch through the larger obstacles. Currently, we can only punch through the small ones, like so. Eventually, you can punch through those large moon-like objects. We just do not have the strength to do that. Yeah, just every time I try, just get hit. But at, I believe, 16 strength, you are able to punch through those. And that'll be important for not something we're going to be doing right now, but for a future tunnel sequence that we can go through. We can get some very good money by being able to punch through those moon things. And I do not know where any of the pieces of Maka are located in this one. Honestly, I do not know the ones past the first two very well, just because it is very difficult to actually do these ones perfectly, and it is not necessarily not worth your time, but I don't really feel like it's worth to try and practice them too much. I get enough money as is. However, there is one exception, like there are with so many other things, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. I did a quick trip to Dr. Dark to heal myself up. In the third Kalpa, he charges you 15,000. It's a pretty big ripoff, but I felt it was worth it. When I'm going to need money, I'm going to be able to get it very easily, in part due to this Kalpa, but again, we're not there yet. So, we can light our Candelabrum of Knowledge, the Majesty. We can light up the Candelabrum of Beauty. And remember, you cannot get to this point you cannot get past this one unless you've defeated all the fiends at this point. We've needed to defeated everything up to and including Trumpeter. There are no more Candelabrums to get. The one that we're hanging on to, the Candelabrum of Sovereignty, that is the final one. And that is our ticket into getting into the 5th Kalpa. But, as I've said so many other times, we're not quite there yet. And just because we technically have access to the 5th Kalpa, do not think that we can actually get in there yet. So we'll deal with that when we get to it. Now this guy gives us a very ominous warning. Wonder what he could mean by that. Well, as soon as you step out, you find that we are in the cursed hallway, and it has been a while since we've seen this. Also, very unluckily, we're at max danger here, so I actually do have to edge forward pretty carefully. The enemies here are quite strong, so I cannot guarantee that I could stop them with a stoma. And as you can see, it takes out a ton of our health, so with the danger value so high, I do really have to go into the menu and just heal up every time. Do not want to get ambushed by something nasty and just have my entire team wiped out preemptively. It would be nice if we could trigger the encounter now. Oh geez, we're going to get to the end of the hallway before it actually jumps out at us. Oh, are we seriously going to get to the door before there's an encounter? This would have been a waste of my time if that's the case. And yes, it was a waste of my time. Oh, well, Daisojo, so long as he has 10 MP, he essentially has infinite MP, so it is not a huge deal. Now, there are a couple ways we can go here. I'm just going to go straight to the treasure, though. Let's see, Girimekala, as he was in his boss encounter, he, of course, repels physical damage, so do not think that is a good idea to do. Should probably stick to having White Rider deal the brunt of my damage, since, you know, he gets his MP refunded. Alright, so I forget which room the treasure is in precisely. Let's say it's not this one, but we want to talk to some people anyway. Well, thank you for telling me that all this way into the game, though. I mean, I guess we didn't precisely know the Kagetsuchi thing at this point, but I feel like if you'd noticed what the Death Stones do at all, you would have made that correlation after a while. Oh, full Kagetsuchi? Is this gonna be it? Are we gonna... Oh, come on. Yes! Oh, yeah! I think that's the first time in the Let's Play I've reached one of these when we were at full Kagetsuchi. Usually it's just like, oh, it just started waning. This guy sells an interesting demon. He sells you a Mothman that has a lot of multi-targeting spells. I believe all the highest tier elemental one, plus some almighty magic. It's not a terrible demon for fusing around, but I don't really want it. Once you get to this point, there's only really one more shady broker I care about, and that's only if you're doing a lot of New Game Plus stuff, because otherwise what he has to sell you isn't that useful to you. It's very much a thing for customizing up very powerful demons. So yeah, we've got Girimekala here for his first time demoted as a regular encounter. Also got Quetzalcoatl's, so gotta be mindful of that. Let me see, what else do we got here? This is another dude. Oh, Decarabia. I forget what this guy is weak to. I'm pretty sure he's resistant to most types of magic, or at the very least fire magic, but he is just one of them. We could just punch him down. And we're getting close to the coveted Magma Axis level, which is what I'm hoping for. I better have Daisojo use a meditation in the next encounter that we get into. Hopefully I can get Magma Axis, and then I can just switch off of that. Oh hey, another new demon. Chimera, this guy I know for certain is resistant to fire magic. Quite a bit of HP, so that is very unfortunate. I want to... I want to be careful here. Well, I think we can God's Bow the Decarabias. Yes, okay. I just want Dekunda off that. Or no, wait, no, I did want Tsukikaja. Oh well. We'll just throw out a Bolt Storm. It's not a huge deal if this goes on for another fight. I would love to hit that guy with a physical attack, but I do actually remember that Tetrakarn is in play. But yeah, this guy, one attack that you have to watch out for is Ironclaw. It is a physical attack with poor accuracy, but extremely high base damage and a very high crit rate. Naturally, when the enemy uses against you, it hits all the time. If you can learn Ironclaw yourself, it's actually a very good skill when you just throw in some accuracy and evasion buffs. One of the better single-targeting physical skills. Of course, there is one other physical skill that completely breaks the game and overshadows it by a ton, but it's a while before we can get that one. So Ironclaw, not a terrible one to build around. How much does this guy charge, actually? Nah. I shouldn't need that. Got a couple of supplies kicking around in my inventory. Alright, and off of that, we finally learned Magma Axes. Heck yeah. If you're running a magic build, like you want to go pure magic, I would strongly advise against that, but just for the sake of argument, you definitely want to build around Magma Axis. It's the strongest spell that the Demi-Fiend has access to by a pretty decent margin. Wind Cutter comes pretty close, but Magma Axis is a little bit stronger, a bit more sustainable, because unlike every other magic skill in the game, it runs off of HP instead, and it does some really, really cool damage. Okay. But who's the Wicked King? Oh, I'm saying that as like anybody who's played an SMT game before doesn't know. Oh, we shall see, my friend, we shall see. But, do you remember the locked golden door we came across in the third Kalpa? Well, we need to find a key to get through those if we actually want to complete the Labyrinth of Amala. But we don't know where exactly the key for those doors is, but somebody in here does. 12 meters of eternity, eh? Huh. Alright, let's give it a shot. So, the 12 meters of eternity will take you to a different area depending on the phase of the Kagetsuchi. Now, the most common area, and the one you'll most likely end up in on your first try, is the Road to Hell. You reach the Road to Hell when you enter on the 1 phase, the 3 phase, 5 phase, or 7 phase. Any other phase will take you to a different section. Now, for the purposes of this video, the one that we really want to take is the new Kagetsuchi phase, which we will be doing in a little bit. But let's check out the Road to Hell. There was a secret area through the wall that we could get through. Ow. Well, this is not a terribly large area. Now, one thing to note about the various hell areas that you get dumped into, you cannot check your map. So, you have to actually, like, get your way through these without a map, which, of course, for a serial map checker like myself, is a bit of a nuisance, but it's really only a nuisance in 2 of the areas. Oh, hey, this is another new enemy. This is Garuda. Oh, that's actually very unfortunate. Or, no, not Garuda. This is Gur. This guy actually had his name changed in the HD remaster. He's known as Garula now. So, I'm not really sure what the change is. I've never really looked into the mythology of this demon, so I'm not sure which one is more accurate. Anyway, there's Magma Axis. As you saw, with Fire Boost, did a pretty sizable 562 damage without any buffs in place, so yeah, very, very good skill. It takes a very low amount of HP also. What was it? The Megami Tensei fan wiki for some reason lists this as taking 30% of your HP, but that is absolutely not correct. I'm not sure why they think that. I'm guessing it's just somebody put in a wrong number and nobody's really bothered to enter it, because this is a cult series and most people are focusing on Persona instead. How it be sometimes. Alright, so we healed up there. Now we've got a cash cube over here with a death stone in it. So if we want to do any more fiend fusing, we now have the option. Like I said, though, I don't really care about any more of the demons we could potentially fuse. Here we've got a burial chamber for this Kalpa. Do not care about that at the moment. It's actually going to be a while before we care about those, as in, I'll have already beaten the game by the time we care about those. Which is actually not that far off. Well, I'm actually moving through this Let's Play at a pretty good pace. I'm always impressed at how quickly I get through these games. Now, we come out on the other side of the Road to Hell. And to continue on, we just go down the ladder. However, if we return through the 12 meters of eternity, though, we just immediately end up back on where we started. You know, we came down the ladder and ended up in front of it. You only go through different areas entering the 12 meters of eternity. Going back, you just immediately get taken back to the entrance. Yep, and this guy's explaining it right there. Let's check out what we got here, though. Actually, I really do want to make sure we're at full HP, and I do have the Satan Magatama equipped. I don't need that equipped at the moment. I just want to make sure I have it equipped for what's coming up very soon. So, here we are. And there are a bunch of new enemies here, a bunch of endgame enemies. In fact, if you can remember way back when, these are the enemies that we were encountering in the Cursed Hallway in the second Kalpa. So we are really just legitimately closing in on the endgame right now. Anyways, Nyx, you gotta be careful for. She's got Dormina, she's got Eternal Death, and she also has Glacial Blast. Lots of nasty stuff that you want to watch out for. Tauties, I don't know if there's anything that terribly special about them. I think they've got access to Almighty Magic, but that's about it, really. Oh, wow, 2 rubies. That's actually really nice. Good for getting some Aramitamas in the future. Now, we're just going to head to the main point of interest for this area. This way is blocked off. And you may notice that there is a torch on the other side, or one of those switches that we could hit, behind a golden door. But how the heck do we get there? Alright, but I'm not really exactly sure how we access that. Also, there is a treasure for us to grab in here, a Tetrajaw rock. Kind of past the point where I need Tetrajaw, really. It's a very good skill early in the game, but at this point with Endure and just having the ability to nullify instant death innately is a bit more worthwhile. Here, we've got some spirits if we want to warp back to the entrance, the party spirits, but we do not want to, so let's go back through the 12 Meters of Eternity. Now, like I said, the Kagetsuchi phase that we want to actually proceed with this Kalpa is we want the new phase. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run around until it's new, and then we will re-enter the 12 Meters of Eternity, so see you in a second. Alright, it is the new Kagetsuchi, so let's re-enter the 12 Meters of Eternity. Looks like 12 meters, though. I wonder if they actually mapped that out for the road to hell. It's nothing. Anyways, going through on the new Kagetsuchi phase takes us to Hell's Hall, and also we rolled a very unfortunate danger value. So, once again, we are in a cursed hall here, and I want to check my map. So, I believe starting out, we want to go straight ahead until we hit a wall, and also, once again, until we actually clear the danger, we definitely want to inch forward as we take damage, so I can heal it off before we potentially get into an encounter. Now, one small bit of mercy that the game affords you here is that the general level of the enemies in Hell's Hall is a little bit lower than the surrounding areas. There's a lot of stuff like Mothmen in here, stuff that we can block out with a stoma if we get lucky. It remains to be seen if we're going to get that lucky. Okay, we did. Alright, at this point, once we hit that corner, we want to hang a right. And it's a bit hard to see where you're going. Once you see this Mothman, you know you're going the right way. Okay, so who is this leader that you were telling us about? Also, once again, it's one of these annoying areas where you cannot check the map, so you do have to sort of feel your way through this, but once we get to this door that is in red, we are in the spot that we need to be. So we want to heal off the damage that we've taken. I also want to restore my MP here, so let's take a look at what we got. Let's use up some of these Soma droplets. Yeah, definitely use that up. Tempted to use something on Daisojo to get him up to full. Actually, you know what? No, we've got Hellbiker kicking around in the back. We can just Makatora his MP away. There we go. And put a little bit onto Kushinada. Do one more Mediarama to get my party topped off. And yeah, we're all set to go. Alright, so who awaits us in the Wicked King's Hall? Well, this would be the time where I'd cliffhang you if, with all the editing I was doing, this video wouldn't be like about 15 minutes at this point. So we're just gonna enter and fight this guy. Sounds like a sterling plan to me. Hey, I recognize that song. It's been about a decade since I thought about this song. Actually, more than that, like 12 years. Jeez. Alright, but who are we getting an audience with? Hey, a little veiny. He's got some blue skin. Just looking at it preemptively, looks like he's got a serious dad bod going on. Why, it's the evil dad himself, the big bub, Beelzebub, in his humanoid form. Alright, what you got for us, B-Money? Well, way to spoil the plot twist. Not that it was like any kind of plot twist. I guess at this point they just kind of expected that you'd figure it out, so like, why even have the pretense anymore? Yeah, and hey, I was kind of putting it together. I just wanted to leave the suspense for the viewers. Hey. But yes, this whole time, this has just been a game by Lucifer to see if we are fit to command his evil army. Of course, we've still got a few more tests along the way. And naturally, Beelzebub is going to see if we're worthy of his power in the natural way that you'd expect. He is going to take his true form, which, in case you forgot what it was, is this big old fly. And we're going to fight. Now, it is absolutely critical that you have immunity to death element attacks in this fight. You will regret it towards the end of it if you do not. Also, something that would help a lot is having immunity to Elec and Force, which, conveniently, Red Rider does. Now, Beelzebub has Deikaja and Dekunda, but he does not use them consistently. So, we do not have to worry too much about that. Let's see, we want to start by getting our defenses off. He typically will use them most consistently if you max out buffs and debuffs. Good magic to use on him is fire. I don't know what his other resistances are. I usually stick to fire magic. I do know that he is resistant to physical attacks, so that's something you gotta watch out for. He also likes to use a lot of physical attacks on his own. You definitely want to make sure you get Warcry and some defense buffs in, though, because he does some pretty hefty damage. Now, to keep things moving along smoothly, I'm going to have White Rider pass here. You definitely want to keep your Demon's HP above 300 or so to deal with his worst attacks. We're going to throw on some Makakajas here. Like I said, he most consistently uses Dekunda and Deikaja when you max out your buffs and debuffs, so be pretty mindful of that. He very rarely uses those skills in the same turn, so it is very much worth your while to, throw these up a little bit of the way, and it's unlikely that he's going to dispel both of them. In particular, you definitely want to keep, Rakukaja and Warcry in effect at the same time. Alright, let's use a meditation here. Want to stay on top of our MP. Actually going to have Red Rider pass again, hit him with another Magma Axis, and then we're going to prayer. Would kind of like to... Oh, that's unfortunate. May end up having to use Endure here. Okay. Yeah, oh, that's... Oh, wow! Oh, lucky. Very, very lucky there. That was just something that kind of unfortunately happens every now and again. So we'll use a Prominence. Oh, wow! He's dodging a lot. And unfortunately, the big weakness of this team is that I do not have any kind of evasion buffs or debuff support in, so that's unfortunately something I'm just going to have to roll with. That's kind of something you have to deal with intermittently. Alright, so let's get the Magma Axis in. And honestly, at this point, I think I'm going to start focusing on going on the offensive here. We'll get Prominence in, we'll use a Medea, since we only need some light healing. And since I don't really know offhand if he is immune to... you know what, it couldn't hurt to check. Let's just see what Wind Cutter does. Okay, that actually affects him just fine. Alright, we can do that. Alright. Now he's getting serious. He's going to start throwing out Megadalown, so our resistances are not going to take for us. But hey, I can take 2 Megadalowns. Not the worst thing in the world that he could be doing. And yeah, Magma Axis is fairly cheap, so we can easily keep on top of our offenses here. Now, at this point, he becomes a little less prone to using those Deikaja and Dekunda skills. Of course, I'm really setting myself up for failure there. But we're also at a phase where he can use his signature skill, which is something that you gotta be very mindful of. So, you know what? Let's go for a little bit of risk here. Let's start maximizing our offense. Here we go, Death Flies. Death Flies, much like Megadalown, deals similar damage. But, if you are anything less than completely immune to instant death, well, it's instant death, guaranteed. You cannot escape it. You absolutely need immunity to instant death, preferably on everything, to deal with it. Now, you could throw up Tetraja and get a protection to instant death that way. I am not sure if it takes repeatedly against Deathfly, since it technically wouldn't get dispelled by it, but don't go with it just off of my word there. I've never really tested that. Okay, there comes the Deikaja. So yeah, it looks like he does not... Ooh, that focus. Okay, so this is the point where I'm going to start using my attack mirrors, actually, for the first time in this game. We definitely do not want to get hit with a maxed out... on top of my... Well, just a physical attack, really. We don't want to get hit with that when we are not at our best defenses, so I may just have the Debbie Fiend chuck attack mirrors for a while until we don't have to worry about that. Here comes the Dekunda, not too concerned about that. Alright, we got a Megidolaon in. Yeah, not terrible damage there. Let's get a Warcry in just to bring his offense back down again. Honestly, maybe it might be just better to go with Makakaja. Alright, let's Media. We'll get Makakaja. Yeah, it's probably easier to deal with that getting dispelled than it is to deal with... what was it? Warcry and Rakunda getting dispelled. Ow, there he goes again. Yeah, I'm like just throwing out those things. Honestly, the attack mirror strategy is not really working out, so we're not gonna commit to doing that. All right, let's pass here. We will meditate to get some MP back. Let's see. Yeah, we'll pass here, do a Magma Axis, and hopefully this does not whiff. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Okay, it did not. And we will just do a simple Medea to get our HP back up. Fortunately, we're staying on top of his damage pretty well, although it is very annoying that he's doing... I knew it! I knew I was... Oh, that's bad. Okay, we're going to have to use a Bomb of Rising here, and we're just going to do that. Then we are going to pass. Let me see. We'll throw up a Makakaja, get a Warcry up, just let him go this one turn, and then we'll bring Daisojo back in to protect us on the next turn. Okay, good. He completely wasted his turn there. Don't even have to heal up off of that. Yeah, I knew the second I stopped throwing out the attack mirrors, something nasty was going to happen. And unfortunately, because Daisojo is falling behind on the levels a lot, he does not quite have the HP to put up a huge fight against this guy. Oh, of course, he missed. Yeah. This is why it's always a good idea to have Sukukaja support. Oh, well. Alright, what's he going to do? Dekunda, I can live with that. We'll just get another Warcry in. And honestly, it's getting a little tempting at this point to maybe just use a Bead of Life. Actually, yeah, you know what? I should probably do that instead. So let's just hit him with a Wind Cutter, then use a Bead of Life just to top off everybody's MP. Again, those things are no good to me if I don't use them, so let's make the most out of them. There we go. Puts us in good standing. Honestly, I can't imagine this fight going on long enough that I'd need to use a Great Chakra, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, you do you, buddy. Okay, yeah, we got more than enough HP to tank that. Yeah, unfortunately, because Daisojo got killed, he does not have Rakukaja, so he's going to be taking a little bit more damage on this stuff than he would be otherwise, but it is not a huge deal. Prayer just solves so many problems for us. Okay, and we will hit him with another Magma Axis. Was tempted to do Makakaja there, but if he, you know, what was it? Deikaja's that off, then that would have just been a waste of effort. Okay, yeah, okay, more than enough HP. That was honestly a little concerning for me. I wasn't sure if Daisojo would quite be able to survive it, but he had more than enough. Alright, but yeah, with what we've got in play, Magma Axis, dealing 1,000 damage. Pretty solid stuff there. Prominence hits twice, it also does about 1,000 damage. So, yeah, we're... Oh, wow! Actually, it does even more than that. That's pretty spicy. Let's see, I'm probably gonna have to meditate... Nah, actually, I can hold off on that for a little bit. Yeah, let's go back to Demi-Fiend again. Red Rider's just not gonna deal as much damage. I think he has about 16,000 HP. I don't remember offhand. He is pretty durable, but again, he doesn't deal great damage, especially when he's not... Okay, there he goes. He was just waiting for me to say it. I was going to say when he's not Dekunda-ing away the offense, he's not exactly great on that. Let me see here. Yeah, I want to throw up a Medea. And now we'll throw up another Makakaja. And hit him with a good old Magma Axis. Hey, buddy, I got something for you. Oh, wow, that was the killing blow. Nice! Alright, that wasn't the ideal way for that fight to go, but wait, we beat him without too many headaches. He curls up into a ball, just goes to sleep like a demonic little angel. Fallen angel, if you will. And we get a nice bit of EXP and money. White Rider, of course, reaping the level up. Too bad I wasn't Pale Rider. And Oh, there's no post-fight dialogue there. Alright, now past him, there is a room where we can get some treasure, so let's just check this out. Okay, there is danger in here, so I actually just want to run around out here because we can do this without any impediment. Now, once you defeat Beelzebub, you can fuse him. However, he's a level 84 demon, so it'll be quite a while before we could even hope to fuse him. Also, he fuses into his human form. You never actually get to see his human form in battle until you actually fuse him. And after he levels up 3 times, then he can evolve into the more popular fly form. Also, Kagetsuchi is almost fully advanced at this point. And... come on. Okay. Now we can go in and get all the treasure, and we get quite the cache of goodies here. Get 3 diamonds, very nice. Get a strength incense, excellent. Get 66,666 maca, heh. That's not the only cache of maca we get from here either. And we get a magic incense, so naturally I want to use those right away. Good stuff to get there. A little bit more magic, and yeah, it puts us at 26 magic, so we're over my normal cutoff point, and that's pretty fun. Also puts me at 14 strength at this point, so I'm getting pretty close to the point where I can fully clear Amala tunnel sequences, which is going to be important in the very near future. But yeah, Beelzebub, not too terribly difficult in this game. He doesn't hit very hard, and he's not consistent about removing buffs or debuffs, so you can definitely stay on top of him pretty easily. There's a Dr. Dark here if you want him to heal you, but we do not need that. I do not really feel like spending the 15k on this guy. Before we head out of here, there is another treasure we can grab, and I think, yeah, the Estome is still in effect. Here we can get a Death Stone, so we got 2 of those, so can fuse more demons than I'd actually care to, if I even care at all. And at this point, that is everything we need to do. Of course, you probably noticed the main thing. Once we have defeated Beelzebub, the cursed hallways are no more, and this applies to every cursed hallway in the Labyrinth of Amala. Naturally, we're going to take advantage of this right away, so let's return back to the entrance to the 4th Kalpa. Now, I said every cursed hallway. This includes the cursed hallway back in the 2nd Kalpa, and in fact, it's very important that you remember that, because remember how they said somebody knows where the key to those golden doors is? Well, that in fact happens to be Ifrit, and if you remember from when we first talked to him, he said he had something else for us, but we'd have to come back after a point to get it from him. Now, he doesn't strictly have something for us, but it is critical that you talk to him to actually advance the quest line required to actually complete the Labyrinth of Amala. Also, now that Satan is maxed out, we learn Deadly Fury, and that's going right in place of Tempest. Deadly Fury, one of the best multi-targeting physical skills in the game, one of the best available to the Demi-Fiend, and upon mastering Satan, we have become an expert. Expert in what? Who cares? But yes, we need to go talk to Ifrit if we actually want to finish the 4th Kalpa. Now, at this point, once the cursed hallway is cleared, you can no longer get the 250k Maka reward from him. And if you want that, and I think it's safe to assume that you want that, you really want to do that before you clear Beelzebub. You can do it any point up until you clear that. Afterwards, you can no longer get the reward, and I'm certain you can find things to spend it on now. Now that this hallway is cleared, we can go left safely, and there is a lot of treasure for us to grab here. First off, 25k Maka, and that's not the only cache cube that has 25k in it. Now, let me see, I think this one over here also has that much in it. Yeah, so we've already gotten over 100,000 Maka at this point. And spoiler, there's even more Maka to be had in here. The 2nd burial chamber is located here. Or I guess technically it's the 1st relative to where it's located. Here we've got a spirit. Well, I'm afraid I'm a little bit ahead of you there, buddy. But yeah, that guy's just warning you about Beelzebub. Not that I really recommend going this way before you fought him. It's not really worth it. Get another Death Stone, 3. Honestly, if I do end up doing any extensive fusing, I may just have to fuse things for the sake of getting rid of Death Stones. I really wish there was like a storage place you could dump those off so you could just get rid of them without having to actually use them. In particular, it makes Tyrant Demons a little annoying to use because Trumpeter, his fusion, is Tyrant at full Kagetsuchi, which means as long as you have Death Stones at this point, you cannot fuse Tyrant Demons via Sacrifice fusions because it'll just be Trumpeter instead. But that's actually it for this video, honestly. I think we've done enough now. We're going to be finishing off the rest of the fourth Kalpa in the next video. Honestly, I would like to get a couple level ups just for the sake of showing off one thing that I'd really like to show off, but I don't think it's going to happen within the span of the next video. Who knows, though. But yeah, we're going to be saving that for next video, and this is where we'll leave it. I'll just return to the entrance and save there, and we will call it. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope to see you next time. When we return, we will finish off the fourth Kalpa, get all of the things set that we need to actually finish it, and then we will continue with the game through the Yurakucho tunnels. So, see you then. Goodbye.